The forum was founded in the year 2000 because the organizers saw the need to bridge the ideological gap between left and right. Issues like the environment, social justice, immigration should not and cannot be claimed by one group only, or claim it as their sole property. The idea behind the Sydney Forum was and is to bring the different political groups together and to discuss the issues that are important to our society, and to provide a forum where rational and informative discussions can take place. For too long, the political and economic system is using the left-right labeling to alienate the mainstream population from alternative solutions to our political, social, environmental and economical problems. If you talk about immigration restrictions, you're labeled a racist and nobody wants to talk to you. Talk about the environment and saving the forests or specific animal species, you're labeled a tree-hugging greenie, and the mainstream population thinks that you're a loony hippie that smoked too much dope. Speaking for myself, I can say that I certainly agree with a lot of what the so-called left has to say about the environment and social justice. I frequently attend public meetings organized by them and discuss the issues in a calm and rational manner, and I can say that I learned a lot about their thinking and why they act in the way they do. And while I do not agree 100% with them, I respect them for their work and for their energy to try to change the society to a better one. For my part, I rather talk to an informed, intelligent, articulate anarchist than a person who couldn't care less on what is happening in this place called Australia and the rest of the world, as long as they have their footy on the TV and the beer doesn't run out. But that's another story. A couple of years ago, I went to the anti-war demonstration here in Sydney, and everybody said, well, only the lefties go there. War and peace is not an issue only for the left or for the right. We marched under the banner of one nation, and we were a little island in the middle of 250,000 people because nobody wanted to march with us. And I spoke to people and said, why do you claim the peace issue as only the left issue? We nationalists are against this war as well. And there's good points to talk to these people. Not only does the establishment use the right-left labeling to prevent the masses to listen to different ideas and join the struggle, but they actively use the different groups to fight each other. Hence, these groups are wasting their time and energy fighting groups with whom they most likely have more in common than what separates them. This may not be so much the case here in Australia, but if you look to Europe, you will see that many different political groups fight each other just because they think they are either left or right, communists or Nazis, and therefore are the enemy and have to be fought. Not only with words and on the internet, but with mass mobilizations of people for demonstrations, sometimes with violent attacks and sometimes with murder. The Sydney Forum is also not part of a political organization, and I would like to stress that very much here. I am personally not a member of any political party in Australia. The Sydney Forum is an incorporated body run by people who are concerned about free speech and the circumstances in Australia. We do not represent the opinion of any person or organization, but we see our role purely as facilitators. If you ever get told by anybody that the Sydney Forum is an Australian First Front or a Jim Silent fan club, you can tell them without hesitation that this is not the case. The Sydney Forum was, is and always will be a body that will foster free speech and give everybody and anybody the right to say what their beliefs are. Some of the speakers might be controversial, but what isn't controversial in this politically correct world? Some speakers, well, most of them, to be honest, are labeled radicals and extremists by the media and the political ruling class. But what is a radical or extremist? Isn't that somebody who is questioning the status quo and dares to ask the question the establishment doesn't want to hear or can't answer? Isn't a radical or an extremist just another label to shut people up or stop people listening to you? The reason why the organizers of the Sydney Forum asked today's speakers to come here and address this audience is because we feel that they have an important message to bring to you. Not because they are lefties or right-wingers, but they have a message that is important to every man and woman, irrespectively of their political opinion. But in addressing this meeting and listening to the questions of the audience, listening to the other presentations, they would have learned a bit more about their concerns and the issues they have. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a world that has many problems. The political system tells us that they have all the answers and solutions, and therefore there is no need for another political organization. They are in charge and they just say, trust us, we will fix it. Why would you care to look anywhere else? It's not your problem. Just vote for us in the next election and it will get better. Doesn't it make you nervous when a politician tells you to trust them? What did John Howard say about the interest rates? What about the war on terrorism and the war in Iraq? The organizers of this forum are under no illusion that we are the organizers of this forum are not under the illusion that we are the saviors of this country and the world and that we have all the answers. Not by far. But we try to make people think beyond the label left and right and make the people understand that our life and the life of future generations in this country are far too important than just to surrender the independence of this life to the government. Ladies and gentlemen, I open this forum, the Sydney Forum 2006, and I hope you have a good time.